This is Ed O'Malley of Susie Ned Dine Turn Realtors. I'm here with Eric Beyer of Beach House Classic Boardshop on Main Avenue in Bay Head. Eric, I know you started the shop back in 1996, but I'd love to know how you got started in surfing.
Well, when I was a kid, 14 years old, late 70s, my father came home one day with a surfboard that he got from a guy he worked with, and actually played tennis with him. But anyway, we used to spend our summers in Cape Cod, a couple weeks here and there, sometimes a month. And a guy I found out later knew we were going, so he brought in a surfboard. My dad purchased it for $50, and it was an old Michaels Fremont made in New York City. I actually have it hanging on the ceiling of the shop over there. Just by dumb luck, I kept it. So that summer, we ended up going up to Cape Cod and learning how to surf. What I found interesting is that the water is much colder in Cape Cod, even in the summer. We didn't have wetsuits, but we were kids and we persevered and made it work. From there, the rest is history, I guess.
How did you decide to open a surf shop, and what led you to open it here in Bay Head? How did you learn about Bay Head?
Gotcha. Well, so growing up, we would just surf summers, and partially because I didn't drive, other parts because we didn't have wetsuits. So when I went to college, I went to school up in Rhode Island, and
Where?
I went to the University of Rhode Island.
Okay.
And there's some great surf breaks up there, and that's what really got me going with surfing. And we got to surf year round. I got myself a business and an economics degree, and in the back of my head, while I was doing computer work, was I want to start a surf shop. I want to open my own store. I want to start a surf shop. So while I was at college, I met my wife. Her parents happened to be living off of Manilokan Road. So when we would come home in the summers and I would go visit her, I would surf in Bay Head. And I loved Bay Head's known for its short jetties and its south swells, and it was just a great place to surf. But I fell in love with the town, and it's like small, quaint stores, very. It seemed very family oriented. I found out later it truly was. It just was a great place, I thought, to start a business. Turns out nothing ever came for rent. So after about 9 or 10 years of computer programming, I heard rumor that someone was leaving on Mount Street. So I went over and I spoke to her, and by the next summer, the summer of '96, actually 25 years ago, we were able to start our business.
When did you move to Main Avenue, where you are now?
We were in that building for about 5 years. We moved over here in 2001, and we've been here for 20 years in this building.
What happened to the shop in Sandy? If anything.
Yeah, it's an old building. It's the old A&P building, actually, and I think it's the direction it faces, but the water kind of went around it. Kind of crazy. I got a phone call from, I don't know, George Nicholas works at the fire department, and they were coming through town at low tide, and he messaged me that, hey, looks like your building's surrounded by water. It's only low tide. Doesn't look good. But who knows? God's grace, I don't know. The water came up in our basement and kind of went out the sides, and it never really blew the floor up. So as far as damage, we really didn't get much, except for obviously having to be closed and people couldn't get into town.
Right.
But we didn't lose product.
That's great.
Yeah, it was,
no, as I said, you were very lucky.
We made out way better than
a lot of people.
Yeah, than a lot of people. And considering how close we are to the ocean, that's kind of crazy.
How long have you lived in the area?
So we moved into the house we're in 27 years ago.
Okay, so a good long time.
Yeah, I've always been from New Jersey. Actually, was born in Colorado. My dad was in the Air Force. Moved here when I back to New Jersey when I was 3. My parents born and bred in New Jersey. So with the exception of living in Rhode Island when I went to college, and a couple years in Boston for work, I've always been from New Jersey.
Right, been here pretty much your whole life.
Yeah.
Is there anything else about the business that I might not know or we might not know?
Well, so when we opened, I have 4 kids. When we opened in '96, I had a 2-year-old and a 10-month-old. Since then, every one of my kids work for me. It's truly a family-run business. You know, they all 4 of them work for me. You know, my wife still does the buying for the women's. It's truly family-run brick and mortar.
That's great.
You know,
that's harder to find these days.
Yeah, and I guess too we're open year-round. A lot of people don't think that's the case in Bayhead, but we are here at least 11 months of the year. Sometimes we'll take a break to paint inside or change out, you know, some flooring or walls or. But you know, for all 25 years, we've been open year-round.
That's great.
So when I opened in '96, having a business degree, I figured let me do something that's different, something that's not common with other surf shops. So we really focused on the history of the sport itself. That's what all these old surfboards are up on the ceiling. From the 50s through current, and kind of how we got from the old Beach Boys days in Hawaii to what we're riding now. So my goal was to make it a personal shop that was community oriented, that was really focused on handmade stuff and the history of our sport. So that was kind of what I wanted to do. I figured if it's going to be small, it's got to be unique.
I like that. I always notice the photos and videos you share when somebody gets a new board.
Yeah.
Or even if somebody who's well known in the business passes away, and sort of the memories of what they've done and accomplished.
Sure. Back to what you said about a new board. What's the reason we do that? You never forget your first surfboard. I'll have guys my age, I'll have guys in their 60s and 70s come in and ask them what their first surfboard was. You immediately see a smile on their face. You see them go back to their childhood, maybe the first wave they caught. It's pretty cool to see it. It really is. And it's like, I would say 9 out of 10 guys you ask that question to, you'll see that.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know, we'll make it through. But you've got to be unique. Otherwise, you're competing with the big stores, you're competing with the internet. You know, anyway, so I just I appreciate you asking that, what makes you unique, because that truly is. I had no retail experience, period.
I understand.
I don't want to sell T-shirts,
no,
sunglasses.
I totally understand.
Surfboards, you know what I mean? For me, that's it. That was kind of why.
Thanks a lot, Eric. And if anybody has any questions for either one of us, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Google. Depending on where you're seeing this video, you might be able to leave a comment below. Thanks a lot.
Oh, thanks, Ed.